September 25th, 2023, 4:05 p.m. local time in the Southern Caribbean Sea. Inside the Combat Information Center of the USS Gravely, a radar operator suddenly stops what they're doing. A new contact has just appeared on the Spy 1D radar display. At first, it's just a green blip, but its speed indicates something else entirely. It's a Venezuelan patrol boat, a Deity-class vessel, moving west but heading directly toward the destroyer. The call goes out immediately. New surface contact, bearing 2110, range 29 nautical miles, closing on the bridge. Officers look up from their charts. They know the coordinates well. It's 30 nautical miles off the coast of Venezuela, outside territorial waters, and therefore within international law. However, it's also within a danger zone that has been increasingly tense all month. Just 3 weeks prior, U.S. forces conducted kinetic strikes on Venezuelan smuggling vessels suspected of transporting synthetic opioids toward the Caribbean. The images spread rapidly, showing flaming wreckage and burning slicks on the open sea. Caracas responded not with silence, but with a show of force. Naval patrols were doubled, and jets flew low over U.S. destroyers. State TV broadcast commanders promising to defend their sovereignty. Now, that rhetoric is taking physical form. Steel engines and a patrol ship speeding across the horizon without any communication. The CIC operator updates the logbook. Closest point of approach, 3 nautical miles. Time to CPA, under 12 minutes. The number carries significant weight. 3 miles is a small distance for 2 warships equipped with advanced sensors and weapons. At that range, a slight turn of the helm or a misinterpreted signal could easily be perceived as hostile intent. The Gravely's captain doesn't hesitate. Orders are relayed down the chain of command. Maintain rules of engagement. Get every system watching. Hail them now. The clock is ticking. There are only 11 minutes until steel meets steel, or until discipline prevails. The USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, is cutting through the Caribbean Sea at a steady 15 knots. It possesses the full capabilities of an Aegis warship, including a Spy 1D phased array radar, advanced combat systems, and more firepower than any regional navy can match. However, at this moment, none of that is paramount. The key issue is a small patrol vessel on an intercept course. The Combat Information Center identifies the radar blip as Track Sierra 214. The profile and heading match a Gary-class Venezuelan offshore patrol vessel, one of the Navy's largest surface combatants. Weighing in at 2,300 tons, it's a serious vessel. The contact's automatic identification system, AIS, is silent. This is not unusual for military craft, but combined with its aggressive approach, it's not a positive sign. The Gravely's operations officer double-checks the CPA calculations. The track is closing rapidly. The current projection is 3.1 nautical miles with a time to CPA of 10 minutes. On the bridge, the officer of the deck radios down. CIC, confirm international water status. The response comes back, yes sir, 30 nautical miles from the baseline. We are well outside territorial waters. This is significant. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, territorial waters extend 12 nautical miles from a state's coast. Beyond that lies the exclusive economic zone, where resource rights exist. But freedom of navigation is guaranteed. The Gravely is not intruding. It's operating legally. However, legality doesn't prevent collisions. The captain orders the first hail on Channel 16, the international bridge-to-bridge frequency. Speaking in English, he says, "Unidentified Venezuelan naval vessel. This is United States warship operating in international waters. You are closing distance at high speed. Alter course immediately." The CIC waits for a response. A second hail is made, this time in Spanish. Still, there is nothing. The silence is more concerning than hostility. At least hostility can be measured. Silence leaves everyone guessing, and in naval encounters, guessing is a dangerous game. The Venezuelan contact isn't drifting, it's accelerating. The CIC calls out again. Sierra 214 increasing speed, 12 knots to 22. Repeat, 22 knots. Bearing unchanged, its intent appears deliberate. This changes the situation. Merchant ships don't increase speed by 10 knots in under 2 minutes. This is a deliberate act. The captain steps onto the bridge wing, raises binoculars, and scans the horizon. Nothing is visible yet, but the radar paints a clear picture. The contact is closing rapidly. The CIC updates. Closest point of approach now 2.6 nautical miles. Time to CPA 7 minutes. The destroyer's crew runs through the standard procedure. The rules of engagement aren't classified. They're based on common sense and incorporated into doctrine. Warn, show presence, prepare to respond. Each step is measured, deliberate, and recorded. There is no room for improvisation. Electronic warfare operators bring the SLQ-32 online, logging every emission from the contact. If the Venezuelan ship even briefly targets the Gravely with a fire control radar, alarms will sound immediately. For now, it's only a low-power surface search sweep, watching but not yet threatening. Deck lookouts report faint exhaust haze on the horizon. The patrol ship is pushing its diesels hard, with funnel smoke rising against the backdrop of darkening clouds. Below on the mess decks, word spreads quickly. Sailors pretend to continue eating, but they're listening intently to the general announcing system. Everyone recognizes the pattern. Silence on the radio, a ship accelerating. This isn't innocent passage, it's a form of pressure, and the recent history makes it more intense. Just 2 weeks earlier, Venezuelan K-8 light attack jets flew over a U.S. destroyer in the same waters, flying low enough that pilots could see the sailors on deck. They carried no weapons, but their systems were very active, with electro-optical pods recording radar activity, a deliberate show of force. Now it's happening at sea level. Below on the Gravely's stern, the MH-60R Seahawk's rotors begin to turn. The message is clear. Venezuela wants to close the distance, and the U.S. is responding, not with weapons fire, but with eyes in the sky. 7 minutes to CPA. The window is closing rapidly. A thump echoes across the destroyer's steel deck as the MH-60R Seahawk spins up. Its twin GE engines spool up, rotor wash whipping salt spray across the stern. Sailors in helmets and float coats crouch low, signaling with green wands. The order is clear. Presence, but not provocation. The Seahawk lifts smoothly off the deck, banking wide to starboard, staying clear of the Venezuelan patrol ship's direct path. Inside the cockpit, 2 pilots focus on maintaining a visible but non-threatening orbit, while the sensor operator powers up the MX-20 FLIR turret under the nose. In the Combat Information Center, the feed comes online. Infrared imaging fills the screens. Every frame is time-stamped, geotagged, and stored. Evidence not just for the captain's log, but for Washington and, if necessary, the United Nations. Then comes the next signal, a green laser pulse, non-lethal but highly visible. It shines across the Venezuelan bridge windows. It's not a weapon, but it's an unmistakable warning. We see you and we're watching. Back on the Venezuelan deck, sailors shift uneasily. Some stand near the Otto Malara gun, helmet on. One figure raises binoculars towards the hovering Seahawk, while another gestures with both arms. Whether it's a wave or a sign of defiance is unclear. The CIC notes every movement. Personnel visible, no weapons trained, gun covers off, behavior assessed as posturing. The Venezuelan ship responds in kind. Its surface search radar paints both the destroyer and the Seahawk. It's a low-power sweep that screams deliberate. It's not fire control yet, but the line between watching and targeting is razor thin. From the Gravely's bridge, the captain keeps his voice steady. Maintain orbit, no overflight, document everything. The Seahawk circles once more, deliberately wide, making sure its Navy markings are impossible to miss. Cameras continue rolling. Every second adds weight to the U.S. case. We warned, we showed presence, we stayed professional. It's a game of nerves. Venezuela pushes close. The U.S. answers with visibility. No shots, no collisions, just surveillance and unmistakable pressure. And the standoff has reached its peak. At 4:16 p.m., the Venezuelan patrol ship finally relents. Its wake shortens, and the bow lifts less as the engine throttles back. Speed decreases, 20 knots, then 18. A shallow turn to starboard follows, pulling its track just off the Gravely's bow. It's not a retreat, but no longer a direct intercept either. The CIC confirms, CPA increasing now 4.2 nautical miles. Contact altering course. The radio crackles at last. In Spanish first it says, U.S. Warship. This is Venezuelan vessel on sovereign patrol duty. We are operating near Venezuelan waters. The captain wastes no time. His reply is firm and measured. Venezuelan vessel, this is United States warship Gravely. We are conducting lawful operations in international waters. Your unsafe maneuvers have been recorded. For a moment, there's silence again. Then nothing more. No threats, no further claims, just the steady churn of the diesels and the widening gap between the two hulls. Out over the ocean, the Seahawk maintains its orbit just a little longer, documenting the course change, zooming in on the Venezuelan deck crews now stepping away from the forward gun. Hands visible, posture relaxed, the message has been received. By 4:20 p.m., the CIC reports, CPA extended to 5 nautical miles and growing. The Venezuelan contact steadies on a parallel course, still shadowing from a distance, but no longer forcing a confrontation. The destroyer's captain orders the Seahawk home. Rotor blades whine as the helicopter arcs back towards the Gravely's stern. Recovery crews move into position. No weapons were fired, no collisions occurred, just another tense chess move at sea, where presence and discipline did all the talking. Incidents like this don't occur in a vacuum. The Venezuelan patrol boat's aggressive approach wasn't random, and the USS Gravely's calm response wasn't accidental. Both moves fit into a larger game playing out in the Caribbean. Just 3 weeks earlier, back on September 2nd, U.S. Southern Command confirmed multiple kinetic strikes against Venezuelan-linked smuggling boats. These vessels, suspected of carrying synthetic opioids and cocaine, ignored repeated warnings before being destroyed at sea. It was a rare public acknowledgement of lethal interdiction, and it sent shockwaves through Caracas. State media condemned the action as aggression in international waters, while Washington framed it as law enforcement against organized crime. The immediate aftermath saw Venezuela push back hard. Naval patrols surged beyond their usual coastal patterns, probing deeper into international lanes. On September 10th, Venezuelan K-8 jets conducted deliberate overflights of a U.S. destroyer, flying low and slow, recording every move. No shots were fired, but the message was clear. We see you and we can pressure you too. The September 25th encounter with the Gravely fits neatly into that pattern. It's Venezuela's doctrine of asymmetric presence. Create friction, test boundaries, and generate headlines without sparking outright war. Their patrol ship lacks the firepower to directly challenge an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, but they don't need to. Instead, they maneuver close, force tense moments, and remind both domestic and international audiences that they're not backing down. For the U.S., the playbook is equally deliberate, professional, predictable, and documented. By logging every hail, every maneuver, and every radar sweep, the Navy builds a rock-solid evidentiary record. Every second of FLR footage from the Seahawk and every transmission is potential proof in diplomatic arenas. It demonstrates restraint without showing weakness, an approach designed to prevent escalation while maintaining the upper hand. And make no mistake, escalation is always a possibility. At CPA under 3 miles, a misread signal or an accidental course change could have triggered a chain of decisions nobody wanted. That's why discipline is the U.S. Navy's most valuable weapon in these waters. The broader stakes go beyond one tense afternoon, though. The Southern Caribbean is a hub for narcotics trafficking routes, contested fishing grounds, and symbolic sovereignty battles. Every intercept and every patrol feeds into a larger cycle of deterrence and defiance. This time it ended with a course correction and a radio exchange. Next time the risk may be higher. So now here's the big question for you. Should the U.S. respond more aggressively to Venezuelan patrols when they get this close? Or is calm restraint the smarter weapon in these waters? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. And hey, if you found this breakdown valuable, as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world naval encounters. Hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. If you want to take it a step further and support our channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges and priority responses, and you'll be helping us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Just go over to our channel page and click join to get on board. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, when a patrol boat plays chicken with a destroyer, it usually ends up as the world's most expensive game of bumper cars. See you in the next one.